Bite your tongue by accident and you'll taste it. That unmistakable metallic tang in your mouth. It's no coincidence. There is literally iron dissolved in your blood, the very same metal they forge into nails and railway tracks. But here's the strange part. If that iron simply floated freely through your cells, it would slowly be killing you from the inside. Life ran into this problem hundreds of millions of years ago, and it invented a personal safe just for iron. This is the story of ferritin, a protein that keeps a tiny metal warehouse locked away inside you. Your body can't live without iron. It sits at the heart of hemoglobin, the molecule that carries oxygen everywhere, and your muscles, your brain, and every single cell depend on it. But iron has a dark side. Leave it circulating freely inside a cell, and it starts to behave like a nail left out in the rain. It reacts with oxygen and kicks off a cascade of aggressive particles that burn holes straight through the cell's walls, the way rust eats metal from the inside out. So you get a paradox. A cell can't survive without iron, and it can't survive with iron running loose either. What you need is a way to store it close at hand, but unable to do any harm. The solution is a protein called ferritin. Its shape is an almost perfect hollow sphere, assembled from 24 little pieces, as if someone stitched a soccer ball together out of separate patches. Inside that sphere, there's empty space, where the cell pumps in iron atoms and locks them away in a safe, neutral form. The capacity is staggering. A single sphere can hold up to 4,500 iron atoms, though it usually sits far more modestly filled, roughly halfway. Picture a seed tray that held not a dozen seeds, but several thousand, packed as tightly as possible. Yet somehow not one of them sprouts before its time. Ferritin isn't unique to humans or even mammals. A similar protein turns up in bacteria, in fungi, and in plants. It's one of the oldest tools life ever made. Wildly different organisms all face the very same problem, and each arrived independently at the very same safe. Locking iron away is only half the job. Sometimes the cell needs it back. For instance, when it has to build fresh hemoglobin for new red blood cells, the ones that ferry oxygen around. That's when the process runs in reverse. The cell deploys special reducing molecules that gently unlock the safe from within and release exactly as much iron as it needs right now. It doesn't work like a faucet cranked wide open. It's more like a root cellar. While there's no demand, the jars just sit sealed on the shelf. When a need comes up, someone walks down and opens exactly one jar without dumping out the whole store at once. When you get your blood iron tested, your doctor often cares less about the iron floating around right now and more about your ferritin level, because it reveals how full the body's stores really are everywhere. Low ferritin means the body has already cracked open its last reserves, and that's an early warning of anemia to come, long before hemoglobin itself ever drops. But this test has a catch. Ferritin is also one of the proteins the body dumps into the blood during any inflammation or infection, no matter how much iron is actually in reserve. It's like a smoke alarm that goes off for a real fire and for burnt toast alike. High ferritin can mean too much iron, or it can just mean your body is currently fighting something off. So doctors usually read it alongside other tests, never on its own. And here's where it takes a genuinely unexpected turn. Ferritin's shape, that perfect symmetric hollow sphere, turned out to be so convenient that scientists started using it for something it was never meant to do. You can stitch fragments of viral proteins onto the surface of that sphere, and suddenly you've got a platform for vaccines. Instead of one flat molecule, the immune system sees dozens of identical tags jutting out in every direction from a single sphere, like a hedgehog bristling with spines, and it reacts far more fiercely. Experimental flu vaccines built on ferritin are already being tested. Fact 1. Ferritin in the heart and brain is built differently than in the liver and spleen. Where iron has to be neutralized fast, in the heart and brain, a nimble version of the protein does the work. And where it just needs to be stored for the long haul, in the liver and spleen, A slower but roomier version takes over. Same job, a different tool tuned for each. Fact 2. Cancer cells often stud their surface with an unusual number of docking sites for ferritin because they crave iron for rapid growth. Scientists turn that against them. They fill the empty ferritin sphere with a drug instead of iron, and the tumor itself invites the sphere inside, mistaking it for an ordinary iron delivery. Fact 3. In a rare genetic disease, hereditary hemochromatosis, the body absorbs too much iron year after year, and the stores overflow so badly that the metal literally settles into the skin, the liver, and the pancreas. The skin takes on a bronze tint, which is why the disease was historically nicknamed bronze diabetes. Fact 4. Scientists test the power of the newest cryo-electron microscopes on ferritin itself. Its sphere is so regular and symmetric that it's easy to judge just how sharply an instrument can resolve fine detail. It's on ferritin that resolution records have been set in recent years. For the first time in history, a protein structure was seen in such detail that individual hydrogen atoms came into view. So it turns out that inside every one of us, there are millions of tiny metal warehouses, little protein spheres, that keep under lock and key the very iron no cell can run without, yet which turns dangerous the instant you set it free. Subscribe to Biocode Lab, where the complex becomes simple.